No one and nothing triggers Donald Trump like former President Barack Obama, who Donald Trump is jealous of, who Donald Trump always kind of wants to be. Here's what Donald Trump is posting and doing after former President Obama gave that incredible speech in Pittsburgh that has Donald Trump reeling today. Donald Trump's posted the following: Trump is coming to Coachella. Why would Donald Trump be coming to the Palm Springs, Palm Desert area in California? I think he's trying to say that he is going to lie about it. I got bigger crowds than Coachella. I got bigger crowds than the concert. And that's coming from this sense of his inadequacy to former President Barack Obama. Donald Trump then claims that he thinks that former President Obama is going to vote for him. He writes, Obama admits a total lack of enthusiasm for Kamala, especially with black men. I think Obama will be voting for me because he doesn't like the fact that Kamala is an extremely low IQ person. I mean, how delusional can you get? You should watch the full recap that I did of former President Barack Obama's speech. It's on our YouTube feed. And by the way, make sure you're a subscriber to our MeidasTouch YouTube channel. It's free to subscribe. But yes, Donald Trump, there's so much enthusiasm of black voters for you that you had to go to Detroit, rent out a quote-unquote black church, and fill it with about 300 white people. And then when you looked at some of the polling in Michigan, I don't think Donald Trump had more than like even 1%. I think it was like 0% he had of black voter support in the entire state of Michigan. But yes, Donald Trump, this was the black church event that you did in Michigan. Like everything you do, a lie and a fraud. More on that Obama takedown of Donald Trump in just a moment. Donald Trump then posted this as well as part of his Friday freakout. He goes, North Carolina, Georgia, Florida, Alabama, South Carolina, Tennessee, and always Louisiana, Texas, and other states. I'm not really sure the and always. Due to the unusual activity of storms, hurricanes, and tornadoes, and other natural disasters, especially in well-reported parts of our country, when I win the presidential election on November 5th, the most important day in the history of our country, we are going to allow you. Then he goes and makes bogus promises. But notice the language that he uses there. Unusual activity of these storms. What he is trying to signal there to his conspiratorial followers also are all of the lies that the government is controlling the storms and all of these things. No, Donald Trump, climate change is real. Storms are getting stronger, and we are in hurricane season. That is something that you can prepare for, which President Biden did prepare for. What I think the country perhaps should have been more prepared for is the torrent of disinformation and lies and the politicization of natural disasters, which has never really existed in the history of our country, the way Donald Trump's now claiming and putting out all of these lies after lies about the hurricanes and about disaster relief that's available to people, preventing people from getting relief that they are entitled to in an emergency situation. It's un-American and just unheard of in American history what Donald Trump and MAGA is doing and what Fox and other propaganda networks are normalizing. Donald Trump then posts, it has just come out that Democrats in Washington and the Democrat governor's office of North Carolina, Roy Cooper, were blocking people and money from coming to North Carolina to help people in desperate needs. 100% false. Then you have Governor Roy Cooper of North Carolina responds, this is a flat-out lie. We're working with all partners around the clock to get help to people. Trump's lies and conspiracy theories have hurt the morale of first responders and people who lost everything, helped scam artists, and put government and rescue workers in danger. As I said recently on a MeidasTouch podcast, you know, when people are most vulnerable, they're most susceptible to scams as well. So people who suffer disasters, and often elderly people as well, often become the victims and the prey of predators. That's why there's lots of protections that need to be instilled and installed for protecting people. Donald Trump uses these moments where we should unite as a nation to divide us. And frankly, it's not a hard thing to do to prey on people who are vulnerable and suffering. It's just so un-American that it's unfathomable for that conduct to take place and be so normalized as it has and be engaged in by the leader of the Republican Party now, which is Donald Trump, or what the Republican Party has become, the MAGA Party. Let me just show you this clip. This was former President Barack Obama. I showed you the speech previously that he gave, so I don't need to repeat all of those clips again necessarily, because you could go back and watch the recap that I did. But in terms of the types of things that are triggering to Donald Trump, here's one of the things that former President Obama said about the debate between Vice President Kamala Harris and Donald Trump. Let's play it.
You found out was just making stuff up. You'd at least give him a talking to. And you sure wouldn't put him in charge of anything. So, you know, I didn't mean to get so serious. But when I hear about this stuff, I start feeling like we don't have enough of a sense of what's at stake here. These aren't ordinary times, and these are not ordinary elections. You're lucky Michelle's not here. She really talking serious about this stuff. So, but here's the good news, right? The good news is that not only as Attorney General and as a senator and as a vice presidential and now as the nominee for the Democratic Party, Kamala has made us proud. She has been out there. If you doubt that, I hope y'all watched the debate, because that wasn't close. That was like Mike Tyson. It was like, oh man, stop that now. So we know she can do the job, and she's got an outstanding partner in Tim Walz, and so we can take pride and feel good about nominating.
You know, the thing too is just how weak Donald Trump is. Like he's a fake strong man. Like he's a wannabe. Everything's a con. He's too afraid to even debate Vice President Kamala Harris again. And then just like a 2-bit baby just says, oh, well, you know, I won the debate. It was rigged. Everything was unfair. I mean, who behaves that way? Here was Donald Trump, though, in Detroit. And here he is further offending the people in Detroit. Now, I want to show this to you because Vice President Kamala Harris's campaign just came out with a great ad on the heels of former President Barack Obama's speech, on the heels of Governor Walz giving an incredible speech as well in Michigan. Here's what Donald Trump said when he was giving a speech to the Detroit Economic Club. He slammed Detroit. He said basically Detroit is crap. He attacked Michigan. He attacked the jobs that the Infrastructure Act has brought to Michigan. Here's just a soundbite of what Donald Trump said. Let's play it.
I don't think anything that we're talking about today is high on our list. The whole country is going to be like, you want to know the truth? It'll be like Detroit. Our whole country will end up being like Detroit if she's your president. You're going to have a mess on your hands.
Now, here is the ad that Vice President Kamala Harris's campaign launched after those comments that I just showed you. Let's play it.
They said we were dead.
Detroit waving the white flag, the city filing for bankruptcy.
That our best days were behind us. That living here is like
living in hell.
But you know what we said? We said, F that. We rebuilt ourselves. We looked out for each other, got our hands dirty, and put in the hard work. And this guy, he don't know anything about that. We are a city of winners, of up-and-comers, of builders, the Motor City. Bigger and better. Here, we believe in freedom. We don't bow down to nobody, and we never will. And so what Donald Trump doesn't understand, or care to learn, is that when he said,
our whole country will end up being like Detroit if she's your president,
that he should be so goddamn lucky.
I'm Kamala Harris, and I approve this message.
As a kid, I loved eating cereal, but as an adult, I don't want all that sugar, and most cereals don't give me the protein I need. Then I found Magic Spoon, a nostalgically delicious cereal that tastes just like my childhood favorites, but without the sugar and with a ton of protein. And if you're already a Magic Spoon fan like I am, I have big news. Magic Spoon has turned their super popular cereal into high protein treats that are light, crispy, and taste just like those classic crunchy cereal bars. Magic Spoon's brand new treats are so delicious and have already become my favorite before and after gym snack. Every serving of Magic Spoon cereal has 13 grams of protein, 0 grams of sugar, and 4 grams of net carbs, so you can feel good about what you are eating. The most popular flavors are fruity and cocoa, and there's so many more. I love the cocoa ones. Magic Spoon's brand new treats are crispy, crunchy, airy, and an easy way to get 11 grams of protein on the go. And for the first time ever, Magic Spoon treats are available in grocery stores with delicious flavors like marshmallow and chocolate peanut butter. Chocolatey peanut butter. I personally love Magic Spoon's chocolatey peanut butter treats. I have one every morning to start the day off on the right foot, and I know you will love it as well. Get $5 off your next order at magicspoon.com/Meidas or look for Magic Spoon in your nearest grocery store. That's magicspoon.com/Meidas, MEIDAS, for $5 off. Magic Spoon, hold on to the dream. magicspoon.com/Meidas. Now here's what Governor Walz had to say about Donald Trump's statement about Detroit, where Donald Trump said that you wouldn't want the country to ever become like Detroit. What Governor Walz says is that's because Donald Trump doesn't know what's going on in America. Detroit is actually going through a resurgence right now under Biden, not under Trump. Here, watch this.
Now look, Donald Trump and J.D. Vance, they got a little different view of things. Just yesterday, Donald Trump was in Detroit and he said, our whole country will end up being Detroit. You're going to have a mess on your hands. Well, look, I know you don't, that's not unexpected for him. That's exactly what he's going to do, tear down America. But if the guy would have ever spent any time in the Midwest, like all of us know, we'd know Detroit's experiencing American comeback and renaissance. Look, I'm a Twins fan and you whipped our ass. We know where this is. Detroit's there, so we know. City's growing, crime's down, factories are opening up. But those guys, all they know about manufacturing is manufacturing bullshit every time they show up. Every time they show up.
Here, Governor Walz, at the speech that he just gave earlier in the day as well, said that J.D. Vance just said if he and Trump win, they will cancel the investments in Michigan. Play this clip.
Here's my take on so many of these things. It should just be your choice. We need to make those choices affordable and available to people. Nobody's mandating anything to you. If you want to drive like I do, a 79 International Harvester Scout that is sweet as hell, I'm just telling you that, knock yourself out and drive it. But look, this is about the future of the auto industry. She wants to make sure that it's not just EVs are made in China, but they're made here in the United States by United Auto Workers and let people buy them. Look, we got to make EVs. We got to make internal combustion. We got to make hybrids along with the batteries and chips so the auto industry stays competitive and can keep the jobs right here in Michigan. That's exactly what the administration did by encouraging GM to reinvest in the Lansing Grand River plant. Vice President Harris cast the deciding vote on that piece of legislation. It made sure that $500 million investment in Michigan would happen. One of those, that plant itself saved 650 jobs and created 50 new ones by that investment. Those are good UAW jobs. But Donald Trump and J.D. Vance can't be satisfied with that. J.D. Vance said if he and Trump were elected, they would maybe cancel those grants, shutting that plant down. And he said not to worry about it. He said, because those jobs are just table scraps over there, table scraps. Tell that to 650 families who feed their families with those table scrap jobs. That's how this works. Look, we got to talk to our neighbors. These guys couldn't give a damn about Michigan workers. They care about their billionaire friends like Elon Musk.
Here's what Governor Walz had to say about Donald Trump selling branded Bibles that are printed in China. That's right, Donald Trump's engaged in a Bible scam. He's selling these Bibles for $60. He's laundering them through boards of education like Oklahoma, who are trying to buy them in bulk for millions of dollars potentially. And Trump's Bibles are made in China. Here, play this clip.
This guy has spent his life, Trump has spent his life talking a big game, but he has been an absolute disaster for working people. One of the biggest losers of manufacturing jobs of any American president in history. Under Donald Trump, we saw 280,000 Michigan jobs gone. 30,000 of those manufacturing jobs gone. Nearly 9,000 auto industry jobs gone. Trump's presidency was an endless string of broken promises. He actually came here to Warren when he first ran. And he promised you, under a Trump presidency, you won't lose a single plant. Technically, it wasn't a lie because he lost 6 of them, not one. So, as they fact checked me, I got it right. They lost 6 of them. Look, he lost the GM transmission plant down the road. I'm not telling you anything you don't already know. He promised to fight for union workers, repeatedly turned his back on him. He even encouraged automakers to move manufacturing out of Michigan and go to anti-union states so they could pay their workers less. There's the reason that the UAW members endorsed Kamala Harris, and your president and many of your members called him exactly what he was, a scab. All right, we all get it. Americans worry about it. He promised you he would stop the offshoring of jobs. But he cut taxes for corporations that during his presidency shipped 200,000 jobs overseas. He awarded $425 billion in federal contracts to companies that were offshoring those jobs. So some of you, this is spinning right now, you're thinking. So he gave your tax dollars to companies who sent your jobs abroad. That's Donald Trump. As a result of his trade wars, his disastrous mismanagement of COVID, at the end of his presidency, he had wiped out more than half of the manufacturing jobs that had been created in the decade before he came in. He was asleep at the wheel while China seized the advantage. And now he says we should just let China dominate the auto industry. But it's no surprise, Trump's all talk when it comes to being tough on China. Some of you heard this. We just found out his Trump-branded Bibles. Yeah, they're printed in China. This dude even outsourced God to China. So just so we know. Again, I'm going to try and be generous here. I don't blame him. He didn't notice the Made in China sticker because they put it inside a place he's never looked in the Bible.
And here's former President Barack Obama talking about all of Donald Trump's various grifts. Let's play it.
Constant attempts to sell you stuff. Who does that? Selling you gold sneakers and a $100,000 watch and most recently a Trump Bible. He wants you to buy the Word of God, Donald Trump edition. Got his name right there next to Matthew and Luke. I mean, you could not make this stuff up. If you saw it on Saturday Night Live, you'd say, well, no, that's going too far. No, he's doing that.
Speaking about getting in Donald Trump's head, this is what Donald Trump said about Obama, that he would win the Nobel Prize if his name was Obama. Here, play it.
If I were named Obama, I would have had the Nobel Prize given in 10 seconds. He got the Nobel Prize. He didn't even know what the hell he got it for. Remember, he got elected. Well, so did I. He got elected and they announced he was getting the Nobel Prize. Remember, he said, oh, what did I do? He didn't know what the hell he did. He got the Nobel Prize for doing nothing. For getting elected, but I got elected too. And, if I think of that, we did something, the Abraham Accords, unprecedented. Nobody thought it was possible. And I'm not saying want or not. I'm just saying if it was anybody else, liberal, Democrat, they would have had it before the damn thing was even signed, So there has to be fairness, and I don't care, but I'm not looking for it. I'm not politicking for it. I'm just saying that there's a lot of unfairness in this world. And I think
more right here from Governor Walz. Let me show you what he had to say about when Elon Musk and Donald Trump were caught on tape laughing about the idea of firing striking workers.
We got to talk to our neighbors. These guys couldn't give a damn about Michigan workers. They care about their billionaire friends like Elon Musk. Now, look, this is the guy. This is the guy. Remember they caught him on tape, Elon Musk and Donald Trump talking. They were laughing about the idea of firing striking workers. You go in there and fire them before they can go on strike. Meanwhile, Musk is building his new auto plant. Not in Michigan, in Mexico. Going to build it in Mexico. And he rolled out, going to get his parts, red carpet, from China. So this is the guy that wants to be our economic czar for the country, the guy who wants to fire workers and bust unions, a guy who wants to take auto manufacturing to Mexico and source it with Chinese-made parts. You talk to your neighbors and friends and tell me if anybody in Michigan thinks that's a good idea, because it sure the hell isn't a good idea. Look.
And by the way, let me play that clip for you. Here is Donald Trump and Elon Musk laughing at that concept of firing striking workers and how Elon fires workers who strike. Let's play it.
this cutter, I mean, I look at what you do. You walk in and you just say, you want to quit? They go on strike. I won't mention the name of the company, but they go on strike and you say, that's okay. You're all gone. You're all gone. So every one of you is gone and you are the greatest. You would be very good. Oh, you would love it. But, you know, if you look at Argentina.
And then Donald Trump's giving a speech in Aurora, Colorado today. Lauren Bobbert was his opening act, and she said that she and Donald Trump will defund the government. That's what they plan to do. Here she says it. Let's play it.
Back. President Trump is here to defund the weaponized federal agencies. I am here to stand strong for you and our Colorado needs, to be your voice.
And well, here's what Lauren Bobbert also said. It seems like she's talking about Donald Trump right here. Let's play it.
We've got a big decision coming up November 5th. It's like one of those choose your own adventure novels. Except in this one, your options are a booming economy with prosperity and freedom under President Trump, or watching our country fall apart and be handed over to tyrants and dictators by Kamala Harris faster than Hunter Biden trying to scurry out of a laptop repair shop.
Well, there you have it, folks. Let me know what you think. Hit subscribe and let's get to 4 million subscribers together. Thanks for watching.
Love this video? Make sure you stay up to date on the latest breaking news and all things Midas by signing up to the MeidasTouch newsletter at MeidasTouch.com/newsletter.